The 7 levels of luxury cars. There are levels to cars. At the bottom, you can spend around $25,000 and get something that does basically everything you need. But keep climbing, and you'll eventually find cars costing $250,000, $2 million, and even over $20 million. So, what could possibly make one car worth hundreds of times more than another? Because at a certain point, you're not paying for transportation anymore. You're paying for comfort, then performance, then craftsmanship, then exclusivity, until eventually, you reach a level where even having the money doesn't guarantee you can buy the car. So, let's start at the very bottom and work our way through the 7 levels of luxury cars. Level 1 regular cars. $20,000 to $40,000. Level 1 isn't luxury at all. This is your Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, and Hyundai Elantra territory. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, if we judge cars purely by what you actually need, Level 1 makes an incredible amount of sense. You get air conditioning, Apple CarPlay, a backup camera, modern safety technology, good fuel economy, and, in many cases, excellent reliability. A modern economy car can do things that would have seemed luxurious 20 years ago, but almost everything is designed around one idea: value. The manufacturer has to give you as much car as possible without making it too expensive. That means simpler materials, less sound insulation, smaller engines, and relatively basic suspension systems. It gets you where you need to go, and for most people, that's enough. But what happens when you have a little more money and want something nicer without jumping all the way into a traditional luxury car? That's Level 2. Level TWO, premium cars. $35,000 to $60,000. This is probably the most overlooked level. Premium cars sit somewhere between normal transportation and genuine luxury. Think of a highly optioned mainstream vehicle, a Toyota Crown, or something from a premium brand like Acura. The difference can be subtle. You might get better seats, more sound insulation, a more powerful engine, better speakers, larger screens, a smoother ride, and nicer materials throughout the interior, but you're still generally buying something designed to be practical. You're not buying the absolute best that the automotive industry can produce. You're buying a nicer version of everyday transportation. And for a lot of people, this might actually be the smartest level. But then you make one more jump and now the badge on the front starts to matter. Level 3, entry-level luxury. $45,000 to $75,000. Welcome to Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Lexus. This is where most people would officially start using the word luxury. Think Mercedes C-Class, BMW 3 Series, Audi A5, and Lexus ES. And immediately, the priorities change. You're no longer buying the cheapest way of getting from point A to point B. Design matters more. Performance matters more. Materials matter more. And yes, status matters more. Pull up somewhere in a new BMW or Mercedes, and people recognize the badge. But there's something important to understand about entry-level luxury. You're still near the bottom of that manufacturer's lineup. Your $50,000 Mercedes might look expensive parked next to a Corolla, but park it next to an S-Class. And you'll immediately understand why we have 4 more levels to go. Level 4. Full luxury. $70,000 to $120,000. This is where I'd argue cars become genuinely luxurious. Think BMW X5, Mercedes GLE, Porsche Cayenne, Lexus LS, and similarly positioned vehicles. These aren't cars built primarily to get you into a luxury brand. They're designed from the beginning to provide a premium experience. And you can feel it. More powerful engines, much better sound insulation, sophisticated air suspension, high-quality leather, massive displays, advanced driver assistance systems, better audio systems, and seemingly endless options. You can easily configure some of these cars past $100,000. And the biggest difference isn't one specific feature. It's how everything works together. You close the door, and the outside world gets quieter. You accelerate, and there's effortless power. You hit a bad road, and the suspension absorbs it. This is the level where you can drive for 5 hours, get out, and still feel comfortable. For the overwhelming majority of people, Level 4 is already an extremely expensive car. But amazingly, we're not even close to the top yet. Level 5, flagship luxury. $100,000 to $200,000. Now the manufacturers stop holding back. This is Mercedes S-Class, BMW 7 Series, Range Rover, and the upper reaches of brands like Porsche. These are statement cars. The S-Class isn't simply a bigger C-Class. The entire philosophy changes. At the lower levels, manufacturers obsess over the driver. At this level, they start obsessing over the passengers. You can have enormous rear seats, entertainment displays, power sunshades, advanced suspension, insane sound systems, massaging seats, and enough technology to make some houses look outdated. Some cars even prioritize rear seat comfort because the person who actually owns the car might have somebody else driving it. And performance gets ridiculous too. A 6-figure luxury car can have the acceleration of a sports car while weighing as much as a large SUV. But there's still something almost ordinary about Level 5. Mercedes can build thousands of S-Classes. Range Rover can build thousands of luxury SUVs. Take a Bentley Continental GT. Yes, it's incredibly powerful. Yes, it's fast. But that's not really why it costs so much. Look inside. Leather covers almost everything. There can be real wood and carefully finished metal throughout the cabin. Customers can choose from huge numbers of colors, materials, stitching patterns, and personalization options. Then you have Rolls-Royce. A Ghoster Cullinan isn't trying to beat a BMW around a racetrack. It's trying to make driving, or being driven, feel completely effortless. Everything from how the doors operate to how quiet the cabin is becomes part of the experience. If you have enough money, you can generally walk into a dealership and order one at level 6. That starts changing. Level 6 Ultra Luxury, $200,000 to $600,000 and beyond. Welcome to Bentley and Rolls-Royce. This is where comparing specifications starts becoming almost pointless. But even a Rolls-Royce Cullinan is something you can occasionally see driving around wealthy cities. There is still one level above this, and level 7 makes a $400,000 Rolls-Royce look almost normal. Level 7, Una Titanium, $1 million to over $20 million. Bugatti, Pagani, Koenigsegg, and one-off coach-built Rolls-Royces. We've officially left the normal car market. A Bugatti isn't expensive simply because it's luxurious. You're paying for extreme engineering combined with extreme scarcity. A Pagani can feel more like mechanical artwork than a mass-produced vehicle. A Koenigsegg can contain engineering solutions that you simply won't find on ordinary cars, and production can be tiny, dozens of cars, sometimes even fewer. But then there's another category, beyond even normal hypercars, one-offs. Manufacturers can create cars for individual customers at prices reaching into the tens of millions of dollars. At this point, asking whether the car is worth it almost doesn't make sense. The person buying it probably already owns plenty of other cars. They're buying something almost nobody else on Earth can have. And that's the final transformation at level 1. You're buying transportation. At level 2, you're buying refinement. At level 3, you're buying luxury. At level 4, you're buying comfort and engineering. At level 5, you're buying the best a major manufacturer can offer. At level 6, you're buying craftsmanship and personalization. And at level 7, you're buying exclusivity. A Corolla and a multi-million-dollar hypercar ultimately perform the same basic job. They move people from one place to another. But everything beyond that basic purpose is what created the 7 levels of luxury cars. So the question is, if money wasn't an issue, which level would you choose?